We're going to attack them here. We're going to outflank them there. All right? We're going to do all of these things. And we're going to be lean, mean, fighting machine. We're going to be hostile, agile, and mobile. And we're going to make these bastards pay. And every time they come up with something, we're going to point out how this betrays the very people that voted for you. Because the way that you show all of these people that voted for Trump and all of the people of color and all of the people that we thought we had locked down forever is not to call them stupid, not to attack them, but to say we understand what you did and why you did it, and you're being betrayed. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about, and I will get to the serious issue at hand. But first, I want to get to something not that serious, but kind of fun. And I want to talk about Miss Kimberly Guilfoyle, who, as you recall, and we will play certain clips of it, before I told her she needed to take lessons from Melania and that she was going to have her ass thrown out of Mar-a-Lago. Of course, there's a story that we will post in the Daily Beast that says, well, her ass has been thrown out of Mar-a-Lago. And, of course, Kimberly is in her mid-50s. She didn't get a plastic surgeon like Melania to help her deal with the effects of gravity. And gravity has taken hold, and she's out on the goddamn street. She doesn't have any kind of prenup or anything. So, Kimberly, I'm going to give you a little advice, okay? Do a book treatment, a proposal that my life with the Trumps, and where you expose everything, and then you let that little treatment, that little proposal you're thinking about sending to the publishers, and you just say, I would rather not send this, but I have expenses. Everybody has expenses, and I've tabulated my expenses to be $42.35 million. And unless I'm made whole and can deal with my expenses, I'm going to have to go shop this to a publisher, and I will get a lot of money. And maybe you could take it to your friend, Mr. Musk or Mr. Peter Thiel, and they would see the value of helping me meet the expenses of life that I have incurred since I've had my fat ass thrown out on Highway A1A, or whatever they call it, in South Florida, because that's where you are, girl. I'm just being frank with you. I want to give you some advice. You didn't do what I told you. You didn't go sit at Melania's feet. You didn't learn how to live in that world. And, of course, Melania's not in the picture with the family, but neither are you. And she didn't want to be in it, but you did. But you're not part of the thing because, well, Don Jr.'s sucking on the tongue of a philanthropist socialite. And you're not a philanthropist, and you're certainly not a socialite. So I would remind people that expenses of life go on, and you would prefer not to throw yourself in the middle of this, but like anybody else, you have to earn a living. And I would shake these people down. So now we've had a little fun. Hadn't said much since the election, but I think I owe it to our group here, our Politicon YouTubers, and we've discussed a lot of things during the course of this campaign. And, I see everybody's trying to unpack and what happened and all this shit. So let me go through. And, just like I told Kimberly so, because I was right, I told people so. There's nothing the world hates more than somebody to say, I told you so, but I told you so. What other people refer to, and I can't stand the word, quote, woke, unquote, because it actually has a noble beginning from Leadbelly Ledbetter, but I like to refer to it, as you can see in New York Times today, I call it identitarianism, and that is the idea that one's identity is more important than their humanity, which was a stupid thing to start with. I pointed it out on April the 27th in the year 2021. That's correct. in Vox, you can look it up. I said, this stuff is killing us. This is not the way people talk. And of course, the predictable reaction, the New Republic writes a piece about how James Carville is obsolete. Great. The New Republic is not obsolete, but I'm obsolete. Can I tell you? It didn't hurt my feelings. It didn't hurt my feelings at all. And then in May of 2021, I wrote a piece, you can look it up in the Wall Street Journal, saying we should own the crime issue. Of course, we didn't do it because we were caught in the grip of the stupid goddamn identitarianism, defund the police, the entire era of jackassery. So we don't do that. Of course, the crime rate's down 30, 40%. And we could legitimately have taken credit for it, but we're too smart for that. Then here comes March of this year, March of 2024. Piece in the New York Times. I give an interview to Maureen Dowd. And I was talking about how the party was hemorrhaging male voters. Of course, we hemorrhaged male voters of every kind, by the way. Even male voters in, quote, communities of color, unquote. But we did. So, of course, the reaction to that is the progressive advocacy groups send out people to say, oh, he's just living in the 90s. He doesn't understand modern America. And this whole country is, we in the progressive advocacy groups in Washington, you know, we're so effective and we've changed attitudes, but James Carville is a throwback and he doesn't understand it. Okay. So I thought our message was soft. I thought we wasn't talking enough about crime. I thought we wasn't talking in more muscular tones about the border, about incomes, about a host of other things. And of course, the reaction is, he's a throwback, he's in the 90s. Then I write a piece in July. And I said, as I had said for over a year, President Biden should not run for re-election. He should announce and have an open primary process. Of course, he drops out, but he doesn't have an open primary process. And of course, the Harris people are out bragging about how they shut any of this down. I mean, it might have been too late, but see, I know something that most people don't know, and that there is a breathtaking amount of talent in today's current Democratic Party. But it's being suppressed. You don't know it because you don't see it. I do because I've gone around the country and campaigned with a lot of these people. I've seen them in action. I pay attention to it. And when I tell you, if we would have had an open primary process and people would have seen the talent level that exists in people who can deliver a message, can frame an argument, can throw a punch, can deflect a punch, that there are 5 or 6 people off the top of my head. I'm not going to name them, but you could probably guess who they were. A lot of them are governors, some are senators. But we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We shut the whole thing down. And so we're bragging about it. And Biden says, you have to take my campaign manager, you leave your campaign in Wilmington, you keep everything it is. Of course, we didn't get to kick the tires. We didn't get to look under the hood. We didn't get to see if the floor mats were in the car. We were told, you're buying this car, you're paying full sticker. Well, can I have a choice in the color? No. Can I have a choice in the trim? No. Can't have that. Well, suppose I want a convertible. No. You got to take what we're giving you. It's good for you. Okay. We didn't have a choice. We took it. We were loyal. We fell in line. And then I wrote a subsequent piece, I think it was in August, and I said, what the vice president needs to do is differentiate herself from President Biden, to talk about how she would be different. So this is a simple truism of politics. Now, I'm old and antiquated. I don't know as much as the young, hip, new advisors that are culturally attuned to all of the new wondrous things that are going on out there. If you're living in a country that over 2/3 of people think is on the wrong track, and you're running for president, I don't want to be I told you so, but in 1992, on the whiteboard, the first thing people think it's the economy, stupid, that was second, it was really important, is change versus more of the same. Well, she couldn't get out there soon enough to say, I'm not going to do anything different, because all of her advisors were Biden people, and they could no longer Jen O'Malley Dillon or whatever. She could no more distance herself from Biden than I could from Clinton. If the Obama people would have had me run their campaign, would have been stupid, because I'm not an Obama person. I like them all. I like David, I like Messina. I think Pluff was a valuable, but I'm not an Obama person. And Obama people are not Biden people, and the Biden people are not Harris people. But because he got out on July 21st, and of course, they were in Wilmington, everything stayed the same. The pictures on the wall stayed the same. The furniture stayed the same. The attitude stayed the same. And we got fucked. Because on the single money question, the single thing that it boils down to is, what would you do different? Now, understand, look, I think Biden's done great. I think he'd be recognized as a modern day Harry Truman. Okay. But for purposes of the election, people didn't think that. And I just would love to know the story, because there's only one story in this election that I'm really very interested in, is how did you miss that pitch? That was the fattest, softest pitch you could possibly get. But you missed it. I mean, you didn't just miss it. I don't know, you took it, or you missed it by 4 feet. But, of course, we don't pay attention. We, the new generation of hipsters, we have algorithms, we have more money, we have more canvassers. Well, all of these fucking people that say we don't win because we don't canvass enough. Or Bernie Sanders, God love that man. We didn't go left wing enough, because all the country was sitting out there clamoring for, somebody that wanted to go further than prisoners having sex change surgery. Of course, we didn't answer that, because that would be beneath us. And then now we're treated to being told, some of this is true, that they are racist and misogynist people in the United States. Wow. Wait, stop, put that down in your dope sheet. But they're going to be there, and you have to win elections. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay, promote my documentary a little bit. Does anybody now doubt that winning is everything, stupid? That if you don't win, you haven't done shit. And you can go out and you can feel good about yourself, and you can say, look, President Biden gave me a chance in life. I'm a very loyal person. And rather than say anything bad about him, I would rather lose the election. Oh, fuck. Please, come on. There's no higher purpose in politics than winning the election. Please understand that. I beg you to understand that. And of course, what they say about me is, every time they go to AOC, she says, well, he's old. Well, that's why I wrote this 1944 edition, to remind you that I was born in 1944 and I'm fucking old. And nothing I can do about it. I wish I was young, but I'm not. But what we need to do is just discard people who've had 50 years of experience in this business and go with the trendy, hot, fashionable, cool, urban, breaking rules and changing dictionaries and forging a new future. Fuck. Where do these people come from? What are they even thinking? And then they make the utterly brilliant observation, well, there's a lot of misogyny and racism in this country. Would somebody open a fucking history book and tell me a time in American history where there wasn't a lot of misogyny and racism. It's going to be what you do. But again, this country's so racist. It gave Barack Obama over 50% twice. The only president to do that since Eisenhower. But let's not say that smart campaigns and smart messaging and smart ways of going by this can make a difference. Let's just say that we're hopelessly doomed to lose because we're in a hopelessly misogynistic and racist country. And actually, people that believe that shit. They actually believe that. So now we come to the money question. We're defeated, we're confused, we're disorganized, we're cold, we're hungry, we're low on ammo. What do? We got to start with some basics here, all right? Just some basics. We have to assess what's working. Well, by the way, we spent $1 billion. $1 billion over that. When somebody goes and tallies up what all of these groups raised, what they all spent, for what? I would say, I used to think that progressive advocacy groups, these groups in Washington, the women's health groups, the environmental groups, the this, the that, the pro-worker groups, I used to think they were useless. I think they're worse than useless. I think they're actually detrimental. Do any of you even know what the DNC is? Do you have any idea who the chairman of the DNC is? Do you have any idea what that person's name is? Do you have any idea what that person even looks like? Not many people do. So it's just sitting there with a building, sucking in money, doing nothing. Why don't we reinvigorate it? It has a tax status, it has a building, it has infrastructure, it has computers, it has desks, it has all these things. Let's get it there and let's act like an opposition party. Yeah, an opposition party. We have no power. You understand that? None. We have no legislative power. We have no executive power. We have no judicial power. So when you're out of power, you're an opposition party. And go and tell all of the people that are sending you and asking you for money, justify what you did, justify what you did wrong, and tell us what you're going to do different. Because what you've done ain't worth a shit. All right? Get your head around that. And all of the Washington-based Democrats farting around, going to wine and cheese parties and talking about how misogynistic racism, get your ass out of Washington and go work on a 2026 campaign and do penance to make up for your goddamn arrogance and stupidity. So we're not going to say, well, we're going to say, we told you so. We told you this identity shit was disaster. We told you to get out in front of public safety issues. You didn't. We told you to have an open process and demonstrate the magnificent and staggering and deep talent that exists in the modern Democratic Party. You didn't. We told you to differentiate yourself from Biden. You didn't. I hate to be some fucking know-it-all, but all of these things are part of the record. So let's have an assessment, let's have an accounting, and let somebody come up and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Huddle up, team. Oh, sure, I should have mentioned football. NPR is going to ban me forever for the fact that anybody likes football. Huddle up, team. We're going to go get them. We're going to fake them here. We're going to attack them here. We're going to outflank them there. All right? We're going to do all of these things. And we're going to be lean, mean, fighting machine. We're going to be hostile, agile, and mobile. And we're going to make these bastards pay. And every time they come up with something, we're going to point out how this betrays the very people that voted for you. Because the way that you show all of these people that voted for Trump and all of the people of color and all of the people that we thought we had locked down forever is not to call them stupid. not to attack them, but to say, we understand what you did and why you did it, and you're being betrayed. Betrayal. That's what's going to happen. We need to set up infrastructure. And by the way, Kimberly, you weren't very smart. You didn't listen. You didn't go see Melania. And you're getting dumped. I would get my little, 8-page book proposal and pass it around and get my expenses covered. That's my advice for you, Kimberly, and my advice for Democrats and all people who love the United States. Be you Democrat or be you independent, or maybe some of you are Republicans. Don't forget that. Let's get together, huddle up, assess where we are, take all of this dead wood that we got in Washington and send it out in the rest of the country and let them learn what fucking life is like for everybody else. Let's go about our business. And we're going to be continuing here on Politicon YouTube, and we're going to point out things that we're able to see that maybe you don't have time to look at or think about. Sometimes you have things that you see that I don't see. Be assured, I'll read your comments. I pay attention to them. And each one of you, in your own right, has something to offer. Please speak up. But for right now, I think the direction that I've laid out is what we got to go in. We got to assess, we got to change, and then we got to attack. Attack, attack, attack. Thank you very much.